So we had rocks thrown through our window in Houston. My parents' car's tires were slashed. Older high school kids threatened to beat up my brother and I. And so it was a really kind of a freaky time. And I share that not to throw a pity party, but just to say I'm so thankful that one Christian lady, it was a tutor, who was teaching me English after school by reading me books. And my family was actually paying her. I didn't know that she was Christian, but they were paying her to teach me English.
And your family, I'm sorry, your family at that time is a Muslim family, right?
Yeah, they're Muslim. Yeah, my dad, my dad was the president of the Islamic Medical Society in Houston, was chairman of the board of the Iranian Islamic Center. So he was very prominent Muslim, and so they, so they start. All I was taught growing up was the 5 pillars of faith of Islam, and that Jesus is just a prophet. So this lady, though, what I was saying is, man, it was such a crazy time. So had anybody, she's teaching me English, and in the 2nd grade, she comes up to me and says, Afshin, I've been reading you all these books, but now I want to hand you the most important book you'll ever get in your life. And she handed me a small New Testament. And she said, you're not going to understand this book today, but promise me you'll hold on to it and read it when you're older. And so the reason I share that story about everybody kind of turning against us because we were from Iran is, man, had any other American, Kirk, given me that New Testament, I would have probably thrown it away. Because I didn't trust many Americans at the time. But I'm thankful that this one Christian lady, she showed me the love of Christ. She poured herself into me, loved me, taught me English. Yeah. And since it came from her, I said, man, this must be important. So I took it home, actually, and threw it in my house, and it stayed there for 10 years.
It stayed there for 10 years. And then you picked it up, as a high school student?
Yeah. So senior year of high school, I'm playing basketball. I take the Lord's name in vain on the court. A guy looks at me and says, hey, Jesus you just said, he's my God. And I said, no, he's just a prophet, because that's what I was taught in Islam.
Yeah.
He goes, no, he's my God. I go, no, you're nuts. He's just a prophet. So if you can believe this, I go home, flipping through the TV station. I come to a Christian documentary. A historical documentary about Jesus. It wasn't even a Christian show. At the end of it, it said, some worship this Jesus as God, and they're called Christians. And I said, man, that's what that guy on the court said. And so God put that New Testament on my mind. So I walk upstairs to my room, look all over, and if you can believe this, after 10 years, I found that small New Testament sitting at the bottom of my closet waiting for me. So I open it up. The first book of the New Testament is Matthew, and it starts off a record of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, son of David, son of Abraham. And Abraham drew me in because I knew Abraham coming from Islam. So, man, I read that whole book of Matthew in one sitting. Now, I didn't understand it all, but God just developed a hunger in my heart to keep reading. And every day under the covers with a flashlight, I would just keep reading and hide my reading from my father and family. Every day at my high school, I would debate against this Christian kid on the side of Islam. But every day I'd go home and read more about Jesus. And so anyway, you want me to tell you the best part of the story now? Should I keep going?
Yeah, tell us the best part of the story.
Okay, so basically, I'm reading and reading and reading, and finally I get to the book of Romans. And in chapter 3, I start reading about a righteousness, or if you will, a right standing with God, okay, that comes apart from the law, meaning apart from what I do for God, but it's a righteousness that the law points forward to, and it's a righteousness that comes through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. And that's Romans 3:22. Everyone knows the next verse, 3:23, but 3:22 nailed me, because that's what it means to anyone who believes. And see, I thought I was born a Muslim, I was stamped a Muslim just because I'm from Iran, but that's it for anyone who believes. And so a couple of weeks after that, I'm sitting at a football practice, and a guy comes up and he invites me to an event with a very funny name. If you know your history, there's this, I think he goes, come to this crusade with me. And I go, I'm a Muslim. You're inviting me to a thing called a crusade? And he goes, oh, no, it has nothing to do with that. He said, there's free pizza. And I go, oh, okay, I like crusade if it's free pizza. So I went on September 28th of my senior year, heard the gospel, and that's when I gave my life to following Christ.
Wow. That's awesome. What a great story.